Today's a little different around here. It's because we're back in Kentucky. We're in my home county. Let's go check it out. Well, this is what we're metal detecting today. Just looks like an old house, right? Well, it is, but it's got a little bit more history to it. In about 1880, a man named G.W. Trivenel built this house. He came into this county and started a bank, and that bank was actually opened the doors in 1888. So this house was probably built just prior to that, where he set up a home to live so that he could run a business as a bank here in town on Main Street. That Main Street's probably a football field from here, but there's not much of it left. There was a major fire there back in the day in the early 1900s, I think 1912, and it burned the place to the ground. But this house was also used for a parsonage for a Methodist church in the 1920s, and then it started the beginnings of its modern history and use today in 1953. A man by the name of Roscoe Rogers. He ran a funeral business. In 1957, this entire home was remodeled and turned into a funeral home. The use for it today is still a funeral home, and it's owned by a wonderful family that I'm thankful to be part of, named the Stanleys. So let's take a look around and we'll get to metal detecting. Let's take a look at the foundation. I show you a lot of foundations up in Ohio, and they're all made out of sandstone or granite. These are actually made out of limestone. In Kentucky, we don't really do granite or sandstone any. It's all limestone. That's what Kentucky's known for. That's why we got great bourbon and great tobacco products, because our soil is very rich from this the lime that's in the soil. So this is typical for older homes down here. It lasts much longer, and weather doesn't really affect it a whole lot like it does on sandstone. Granite, it's pretty comparable. So let's move around to the other side of the house. Does anybody know what this is, other than an ornament you might see somewhere at a antique shop? That's a pump to get water out. There's a well down inside there, and you would turn this wheel here, this one here, and then it would start pumping water out of there from deep down in the ground. There's actually two here. This is a Boss, two different brands, but these are from many days ago. Looks like there's been a lot of grading here, a lot of additions. We can tell that the middle of that building right there is obviously the old part of it, and there's driveways built and items like that. So it looks like we're going to be in the front yard most of the time today. So let's see what we can find. I'm going to run in my normal high pro program. I'm going to go into expert menu. Let's go into audio, search audio, and I'm going to turn that just to discrimination because there's probably a lot of trash in this yard. Filter and speed, search, 7.5 bandpass, recovery delay. We're going to take that up some today. We're going to go to 70. Even though there may be targets in the ground, but I'm going to work slow. You can see right here, I visually reject everything that I don't accept in my V3i scales. So I don't see it or hear it. I don't run bottle cap reject. Let's get into some V3is. I'm going to go into V3i select by, V3i edit, just to show you what I'm accepting and rejecting. And looking at these V3is, you can see that in this program, I do not accept all the way up to +2 V3i, but +3 I do. And that varies at times. Now let's go all the way to the top. Now you can see I do not accept 95 or 94. That's because a lot of wraparound and iron targets come in at +94, +95, -95, and -94. I don't want to hear or see those. If I get a silver dollar, it's going to show up in the 90 to 93. Otherwise, 94, 95 to me, through my experience, has always been iron. And then sensitivities for the day are RX gain 12. I'm going to start there depending on EMI. I haven't tested anything yet. Discrimination sensitivity 90, and all metal at 70. So let's get ground balanced and get going. Well, what better place to start than in the front yard, right beside the front door. Well, I swung for about 10 seconds and I got this. 4.5 inches deep. 50, 51. That's a pretty solid hit. Not sure what that is. It's a coin. It's not an old coin. You can see it's a Lincoln cent, or a Lincoln penny. And I can't really read the date. It's all corroded. So let's find something else. Not real deep, 2.5 inches, but big high 83. Could be a modern quarter. And it is a modern quarter. It's one of the state-specific ones. I don't really see the date right offhand. These are a little tricky sometimes to find. But that's what we have. On to the next. Next target, 4 inches. Low V3i. It's just foil. That's all we have is a piece of foil. On to the next. Almost 4 inches there. Low V3i. Well, what I have is a square nail, and square nails about 1880s when they went out of fashion. Round nails or wire nails came out, and everybody moved on to those. But so there's our first square nail in the yard. 2 3/4. Maybe another modern penny. Not sure why it came in the 50s, but we have a clad dime there. For some reason I can't get the date off of it, but it's probably in the 70s or 80s. So on to the next. Got a target there at 4 inches. It's pretty promising. That's a good solid hit on that one. Hopefully it's not modern. Let's get down in there. Got it pinpointed on the edge of the hole. Let's come up here. There it is. Whatever it is. Looks like maybe a modern penny. Oh, it's a wheat cent. Alright, we're on the board. Let me get that cleaned off. So here's the back of our coin. Clearly 1 cent. Flip it over now. That's an oldie. 1924. It's a pre-funeral home and right in when it was a Methodist church parsonage. So maybe it was lost during that time. 2 1/4. Not a lot of deep targets here. 74. Probably a modern penny. Huh. What is that? I'm gonna clean this off. We'll look at it together. I don't know what it is yet. Here's what we have. It's made out of copper. Completely smooth on this side. Completely smooth on that side. It's fairly oval shaped, but it does have some imperfection to it. The only thing I can think of is I used to do this when I was a kid, which I wouldn't recommend it modern day. Just place pennies on the railroad. Kind of looks like something like that. Train runs over it and flattens it out, makes it into something like that. 4 1/4. 75. $19.79. Just a regular dime. A modern dime. So haven't really got into it too much old yet. Just that 1 wheat cent. Been looking for one of these. There's 5 3/4. A little deeper. Let's check the hole. Still in there, 5 1/2. It's over in that corner there. Seem to be doing that a lot today. I think I see it already. See it? It might be a, what is that? It's a wheat cent. Let me clean that off. Our soil in Kentucky is real gentle on the coins. So this is a 1918 wheat cent. It's pretty good shape. Back of it I didn't clean off a whole lot. The dirt around here, the clay in it sticks to stuff and you got to work it off there with a toothpick. So I'm just gonna leave it for now. But there we go, 1918 wheat cent, that's an oldie. Got a mid 40 signal right here. I haven't dug any 40s today, so we might as well. It's 2 1/4, 43 to 45. You usually get the pull tab, not the part the pull tab comes off of. So, just a piece of aluminum. Right there, 5 inches and right on the verge of the 20s. Let's see what that is. It's in here. I can see a little bit of this. It's right on the edge there. I'm gonna pull it on out. We'll take a look at it. Could be a button, could be a nickel. Looking like a nickel. I'm gonna clean that up. We'll see what age that is. So this is what we have. It's a buffalo nickel. You can see the chief there. The date is wore off of it and you can't actually read it. Let's flip it over and check out the old buffalo. I really like this coin. It's one of my favorite coins out there. It's pretty awesome stuff. So we're getting a little further away from the house, as you can see there, finding some of these older coins. And right here where I'm looking, there's a depression in the ground. You may be able to tell that, but there may be been a really big tree there at one time. So there's a buffalo. That is one I haven't found in a long time. I'm very happy with that. It kind of makes the day for me. Now these little towns like this in my county, in this area of Kentucky, popped up along the railroad. So there was some action here for a while when the railroad came through and some industry came. A lot of logging and things like that happened. This isn't so much coal country yet, so it's mainly farming and things like that. So these towns didn't have, you know, a ton of money. You know, people got by and lived pretty much simple lives. I guess we're just going to keep on looking and see what we can find. We do have quite a few hours left, but I found out that the heating element in the dryer just went out at the house, so that comes first. So I will be heading out early today to go take care of that. But for now, we'll keep digging. Here's the next target. It's 5 3/4 inch deep, and it's one of those happy squirrel signals. It's like the perfect size. See, like pinpointing, it's only like right there, and then right over it I'm getting 6 1/4, and we're up in the 80s and high 70s. Pretty much sure this one's silver. All right. Oh, I see it. I just scraped back across it. Let's take a look. It's definitely silver. What it is, I'm not sure. It's dead center. It was right underneath that root. Maybe a Roosevelt. Looking like it. Yep. 1947. So there is silver in this yard. We came over to the water pump, or a cistern, and we're gonna try a signal right here. It's not all that deep. It's 2 3/4. Pretty decent VDI. Don't know why that would beep. Let's see if it beeps over here. I don't know what that is. Maybe lead? This is what we have. I don't know what that is. Huh. I don't know, but to me it looks like a bullet with rifling on it. I don't know, but you can see those lines on it right there. That's rifling. And then if it has rifling, then it wouldn't have been Civil War. I'm not sure if all guns were like that, but that's definitely a bullet with 3 rings on it. That's a different one for me. It's really heavy, not like a modern rifle cartridge. So it's different. I'll clean that up. I continued to dig on that hole a little bit, and I found some square nails, and then I ran into this. Does that look like a musket cap of some sort? It doesn't. It's not long enough to be like a rimfire short cartridge, but that somewhat looks like one to me. It's got the right patina. It's made out of the right material. What do you think? 5 inches in the 60s. That's what it's turned into. A little higher. It's right here. This is what we have. I think we're gonna get a button. Looks like a button. Pretty sharp button. Let me dust it off, like a 2-hole button. I think is what that is, aluminum. Well, here's what we have. It is a 4-hole button. Doesn't just have those 2. It is aluminum. Did look cool coming out of the ground, but that is all we have. No real decoration on it. All right, on to the next. Got a target there at 4 3/4. This is what we have. It's a wheat scent. This is what we got on that one. It's a 1919 wheat scent. I didn't clean up the back just because the dirt's hard to get off these coins. You got to rub really hard. But there you go, 1919. There's a target there at 4 3/4. Might be another wheat scent. Got some kind of coin in here. This is what we ended up with. It's a 1944 wheat cent. I think it's a 4 at the end there. Something there at 5 1/4. Low V3i. This is the last target of the day. We're just gonna dig this one and see what it is, and whatever it may be, that's what we'll end the day on. All things to find in the yard. A shotgun shell. I don't think they'd be shooting too many shotguns at a funeral home, so it's got to be before that. Alright, that's it. You can probably hear that guy shooting a gun in the background. Remember, we are in Kentucky, so Kentuckians are born with a gun in their hand pretty much, so that's just a normal sound around here. Well, that ends our hunt for today. You know, I said I wouldn't probably get too many hunts out until early January, but if I can squeeze these in between the breaks that I have, if I have time to go, then I'll go. This was just one that came up, and I brought my equipment with me, and I was able to go. So, found a silver, a bunch of wheats, a bunch of new clad stuff, and items like that, but no jewelry. Nothing real old, didn't even break into the 1800s, but this was a fun hunt, and had a pretty good day. It's warm out. I'm not in a muddy field, so it turned out pretty good. So, until next time, if I can squeeze one in somewhere, I'll see you then. But take care.